This is Gerardo Del Real with Resource Stock Digest. Joining me today is the CEO of Rockridge Resources, Mr. Jonathan Wiesblatt. John, how are you today?
I'm doing great, Gerardo. Enjoying the summer. How about you guys?
Same. Thank you so much for asking. Let's get right into it. We have a situation in the copper space where, despite China selling into the market, that's been offset by the potential for serious supply disruptions with geopolitical and jurisdictional uncertainty, seemingly on the rise. Spot price still at 429. You just had some news. You're planning an upcoming summer exploration program at Knife Lake. I gotta say, I loved the tone of the release because it's clear to me that you and the team is laser focused on making new discoveries.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about the micro and Rockridge, and then we can talk a little bit about the macro afterwards. So press release was basically just to highlight we're planning on following up work to results from the winter and spring program. If you go back to last fall, we did fly an airport defense survey, which helped us really isolate really key regional targets. And the real important point here is key regional targets that sought deposits. Isolated those, we identified those, and then we went in and we drilled. And if you recall from a few press releases ago, our last update, we really talked about mineralization at Gilbert Lake, which is 6 kilometers to the west of the maiden deposit. We wouldn't have been able to isolate that new regional target without doing the new modern exploration VCAM work survey up front and beforehand. So what we're doing and this summer and into the fall is we're going back up to Knife Lake before the lakes freeze over. We're getting back to work. We're going to fly another survey, which is going to expand our reach and understanding of the regional targets. We're going to follow that up with some groundwork. And again, we're going to go back and identify the targets where we are going to point the drills and really hopefully keep on the style discovery, which we do believe we're very close to doing. So more work, a little bit more modern tech, and hopefully on our way to expanding the scope of the project.
That's exciting. I like the methodical way that you're approaching it. It's very easy to get drill happy and blow through your budget and your treasury, and just go poke a bunch of holes everywhere, hoping you get lucky, right? This is, again, it seems very focused to me, and I know shareholders have to appreciate, you trying to mitigate that exploration risk that exists with all exploration companies, right?
That's exactly right. And like I've said to many of the shareholders, either on calls or just one-on-one conversations, Rockridge, we look at this, we look at the Knife Lake project as a marathon, not as a sprint. We're going to take things very methodically and very patiently. And what we're going to do is we're going to, as efficiently and as effectively as possible, deploy the treasury to try to create as much value as possible. So we really do believe in the process. And the end result is going to be, more pounds of copper and more VMS style discoveries down the road.
Well said. Let's talk macro a bit. And, again, just really briefly, there's going to be new eyes to any quality copper story. I think it's important just for you to just give us a little brief overview of your background, because it really does qualify you to speak on a macro level about everything that's going on in the space, right?
Absolutely. So I'm slightly different than some of the other mining CEOs that will be on your program and that your readers will be accustomed to. I'm an investor through and through. I've been a portfolio manager here in Canada for a number of years. I've worked on a number of very large projects and products, one of which was the Sprott Canadian Equity Fund. So I had the opportunity to work with some of the greatest both micro and macro resource investors in the world, definitely here in Canada. Was able to learn a lot from them. So it's really using that ability to understand and identify macro themes and being able to drill down into the best ways to play those. And so when I apply what I've learned in the past and I take a look at the macro here for copper, we see copper right now, the bulls and the bears are kind of tugging at one another. And that's why we're in that 4.25 to call it 450 tight trading range. The reason for that is the bulls who believe in the demand, side of the equation, those that are long the commodity because of electric vehicle penetration in the overall auto industry, and demand from other energy efficient products, they're pulling. And then also on the bull side, the supply side is restrictive. It's tightening. Not a lot of new discoveries are being made. And the biggest mining operations in the world are experiencing major labor issues. So the bulls are pulling there. And then you have the bears who are suggesting that it's only a matter of time before more supply comes on. China has been building inventory and pushing product into the market. So we are really here at an inflection point between where the price of the commodity is going. Our bet at Rockridge, my bet as an investor in Rockridge and an executive at the company, is that the price will appreciate over time. And the one thing that I wanted to say, the